Hey there, hi again. This is Dr. Judy O with my friend Mike. Hey there, Mike. How you doing?
Hello, pretty good. Good to be
So
here.
we're going to talk about kratom. And what did they use kratom for back in the day when they?
Well, when they first started using kratom, it was mainly used. They started for malaria, for cough, for hypertension, diarrhea, depression, pain, and fevers, reduced fever, and things like that.
Oh,
That's what it first originated for. That's what their. It's basically just a plant healer.
oh.
You know.
So basically, here eat this leaf.
Yep. Yep.
Did they make teas?
Well,
Chew.
back then they chewed on it,
Chew.
until they were able to find out, to make it into teas, which they started crumbling the leaf up, and making teas with it, and then drinking the tea.
Well, here we have the powdered kratom, and we have the 4 different strains. We have red, yellow, green, and white. And they're basically green, but with a little bit of variation. And it's really hard to tell the difference between the different colors.
Yeah, you can't really tell, and as far as smell, it's basically all the smells the same. You get a good, fresh, gardeny smell. Like right now, you can tell with the fluorescent light how there is a little different shades. The red will have a darker shade other than the
I
greens.
think this one's the red.
Yeah,
Green, red,
this is probably
yellow, and white.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's what it mainly looks like, and you can tell even too the white has a littleish white tint to it. But it's good to know what kind you're getting because, like you see, it's hard to see which one to differentiate the two.
Yeah, and the different colors is basically the vein.
Yes, it's
The actual vein.
correct.
it's
It's all
in
about in the vein. Yep.
And so each one has different phytonutrients that helps with different things.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people take the red for energy
Yes.
and green.
Well,
to
and
sleep.
this is one thing that's pretty different about kratom too. Some of it does different for some people. Sometimes, like the red, for most people, reds give them the relaxation, the calm feeling, the warm blanket effect, if people are familiar with that. And then you'll have other people where reds will give them energy. It kind of does it, different. So it's important that if you're trying kratom, to keep a logbook and try different kinds and find one that's suitable for you.
And you can mix.
And you can mix. Yes, you
the
can.
two.
You can mix the two together, and do it that way. I've done that myself, and had great results with that.
With anxiety, there's a lot of people walk around today with a lot of anxiety.
Yes.
And different level anxieties too. Some people don't even want to go out of the house.
Yeah. I have a real good friend of mine who is he has social anxiety, really bad, and he didn't know what to do. He had nowhere to go, so he turned to alcohol, and he drank alcohol for 2-3 years straight every day because it was the only way that he can go in public to talk to anybody. Other than that, he was a prisoner in his own home. So I myself, that's why I started taking kratom was for my anxiety. I was diagnosed with chronic anxiety. So I got, as soon as I found out, I called him up on the phone and said, hey, come here, I want you to try this. So we tried it, and the results were instantaneously and amazing. That day, he quit drinking alcohol. That day.
That's great.
And anybody that knows, if you drink alcohol every day, alcohol is the worst withdrawal there is. It is the worst. It will kill you. And that allowed him, the kratom allowed that to subside and go away. People in the community, his friends, everybody knew the difference. His boss even said something to him like, what's going on? You're a little different, you're more focused, you're into the game, I'm liking this. And ended up giving him a raise.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
That's
because
great.
of, he was just more into it, more tuned, more focused. He had ADHD real bad too as well. So his mind was going
That's
all
another
over. Yeah.
whole aspect, ADHD, trying to focus. Now, talk about ADHD, most people think of kids.
Correct.
What about Kratom with kids?
Creating with kids, it's the same. I feel when you're on ADHD, you're on so much medication. You know, I have family members, including that are on 5, 6 medications that you know are just unnecessary, plain unnecessary. When you have Kratom here, can take care of all that. Like I know a child that was, you know, tried it on. He has trichomania, and
What's trichomania?
it's like can't stay still. He pulls on his hair a lot.
Okay.
You know, he always pulling on his hair when he's reading a book, trying to concentrate. You know, his head's everywhere. He's got to be fidgeting. So Kratom was tried on with him, and instantaneous results. He instantly stopped with the hair pulling, concentrated on his work, and right now he is 18 years old, and this is the first time in his life that he's able to have long hair.
All right.
Because he would literally pull his hair out to have holes, so his mom would have to shave his head, so that he wouldn't be made fun of.
So it's just a nervous twitch that you have to be moving and.
Yes. And another thing with him too that was understanding and really affected him in school was the doctors made him wear a hat when he was in school, so that he wouldn't do that. Well, when kids see that, they think, oh, but you know, there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
You know, you think cancer, you think the worst, you know.
Right.
And, you know, kids aren't the kindest,
No.
you know.
No.
So now he hasn't wore a hat in over 2 years. You know, a lot of work went into it, and it's just amazing.
Did he have other issues?
Yes, Tourette's. Autism spectrum.
Explain Tourette's.
His Tourette's isn't like your basic Tourette's where you see, you know, the outbursting of the swear words and things like that. His are more of tics. He has, like, his Tourette's are more like, you know, tics,
Head
tics,
yeah.
and, you know, his sensitivity, like, he talks really loud, and you don't understand he's talking that loud.
Right. To him, that's normal speech.
Correct, yeah. He does not understand sarcasm one bit. And that's something that I work on with him so much. But he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
He does not get it one bit. But he is he's one of the top in his class as far as academics go.
Good. Yeah.
He's accepted to the National Honor Society.
Ah.
And he's in 11th grade and just got his first application for college.
Really?
Yes.
That's great.
His stuff was so severe when he was growing up that they actually held him back from school. Not because of his grades, but because of his attitude, and they didn't know what to do. So they just put him on medications.
Right.
And that was it. Here, take this, you know, calm me down.
That's
which
it.
just made him a zombie. It was no good.
Yeah, he can't relate. You can't work with other kids and.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So it's basic. This is basically a good herb that you can use with children.
Yes.
And dosing, that would be kind of hard to figure out.
Well, dosing is very important. That is very, very important on dosing. I recommend that if you're taking the powder to have a scale. That way you can weigh out your dosaging. Also to have a logbook. A logbook is very important. That way you can take a log of each strain you're taking, how much you took, you know, and at what time you felt it, what time it came off. You know, that way you're not taking too much, because you can take too much. You will not overdose by taking too much. Your body has this natural effect in it, and when you take too much kratom, it'll just come back up.
Right.
You know, it's an instantaneously, boop, you'll regurgitate it instantly, and that's it. And you'll probably go to sleep. You know, that's the worst that can come out of kratom.
It's like lobelia. Lobelia does the same thing.
Does it?
Yeah, that's for the lungs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, I had that experience in my first trials. You know, I took a little too much one time, and I just vomited instantly, and it was all green. That was it, done, and I felt better.
Yeah.
Another thing too with kratom too, you might feel dizzy. You know, if you take a little too much, you might feel dizzy your first time, or you know, nauseated. The best thing to do is eat a piece of bread. Because what kratom does, it absorbs into your system, into your stomach lining.
Okay.
You know, if you have an empty stomach, it will have a more of effect than it does if you have a full stomach. So, you know, if you are taking it and you feel nauseated or whatever, just eat something plain and simple.
Now, if you mix this with a citrus usually thins
Yes.
the lining of the stomach, so it'll go in the system instantaneously. And that's not something you probably want to do.
No, it's not good. They call them, I'm trying to think of the name, potentiators is what they call them. Your grapefruits, your orange juices. Some people do like to take that with it because, you know, it affects it a little bit more, but for others it's too much. So it's, you know, I don't recommend going with the citrus route, mixing it, you know, first. And, you know, there's plenty of methods on taking Kratom. There's a method, you know, that most people like to say as a toss and wash.
Toss and wash, yeah.
Which, a lot of courage to do that. Kratom is very bitter.
Uh-huh.
You know, just not sugarcoating it. It's not the best tasting thing ever.
A good medicinal plant is usually pretty bitter.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you've told me, if it doesn't taste good, it's probably good for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the toss and wash, basically, they weigh it out and they just put it in, swallow it down. Me, myself, I can't do that. What I'd like to do is just make a cup of tea and put my dosages in that, and then mix it up and just drink it.
Right.
You know, and to me, I'm used to it now. At first, it took a little bit to get down. You know, I heard a lot of references. You know, it tastes like eating Swamp Thing, or you know what I mean. You know, things like that. But no, after a while, you become accustomed to it, and you find what you like with it. The V8 drinks are very good with it. I also take with coffee. I'll have my morning coffee, and then I get down to my last little bit of coffee, and I'll put it in, mix it up, and drink it. You know, just get it down quick, and that's it.
Yeah. I know someone that mixes it with cream cheese.
Yes.
They love cream cheese, so they mix it with cream cheese. And I can see where the flavor of the cream cheese would hide that.
Yogurt's another one that I've heard of. I tried it with yogurt. It didn't go too well.
Yeah.
You know, peanut butter was another thing.
Peanut butter, when I make my blender drinks in the morning, some of them don't taste very well, and I'll throw a scoop of peanut butter in there.
It always helps out.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do also with Kratom is make what they call honey balls. And you mix your Kratom and honey and you stir it, you know, mix it around, make a little ball out of it, and then digest it that way. I've also seen it done that way as well.
Someone told me that they did coconut oil.
Oh.
And it slides.
But basically the same concept, kind of like,
So if you like something sweet or something savory, that'd be great. And coconut oil has its own benefits too. But yeah.
And you also can go the capsule route, or you can take the capsules that are already pre-weighed, you know, already have the grammage out for you. A lot safer in the beginning for, say, you know, if you're traveling, it's not that easy to go ahead and mix up Kratom real quick. You can, you know, take the capsules. The only little side effect with the capsules is you get the gelatin in it, which will get you backed up a little bit more. It's not your instant relief. You know, it's going to take a little longer to kick in.
Right.
Just digesting it, for me, it takes minutes. But a capsule, it'll take, 20 minutes for, say, rather than the 5-minute instant relief.
Yeah, and with extreme pain, you really would like that.
You need it now, instantly. And that's how I felt like with my accident. I would wake up in the morning and I would just not be able to move. So my wife would get my tea ready for me, and she'd weigh my dosages out, and mix my tea up for me, and I would drink it, and I'd lay there, and then referring back to that warm blanket effect, I just get this sensation on my body, a warm blanket sensation, a good feeling, and then next thing, okay, I'm moving now, which allowed me to get up, stretch, exercise, and then get ready for work and go about my day.
The warm blanket effect, basically, studies have been shown that a heavy blanket makes you feel better.
Yes.
With anxiety.
Yep.
That's what
and
you're
the
talking
warmth.
about? Yeah.
The warmth.
Yeah.
Like, before I was introduced to Kratom or any kind of, anything to help me with my anxiety, what I always did was go into a warm shower.
Uh-huh.
That was my comfort zone. You know, to this day it still is.
Uh-huh.
You know, just that warmth. You know what I mean? And Kratom gives you that without doing that. You know, it's very nice to have that feeling.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody who has social anxiety and always tense all the time. To just be able to feel normal and relax.
Now, back to how much you're taking. Is it better to start like maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon?
I actually would recommend at least your first time trying at least 2 grams.
2 grams would be a teaspoon?
Yes, I believe
Okay.
so. I believe so. Yes,
Kinda
correct.
close.
Yeah, like the little Wendy spoons.
Yeah.
You know, those are
Uh-huh.
perfect ones people use. But yeah, your first time a teaspoon, and if you're not feeling any effects within 20 minutes to a half an hour, try another teaspoon.
Okay.
And you know, and then make sure you're keeping that in your logbook as well. You know, and each vein will do different. It will hit you faster, and it all depends, like I said too, on your empty stomach or you know what you're taking it with.
Like the green Bali, that's a new one for me to start understanding. From what I'm reading about that, it's stronger than the rest, but the duration is shorter.
Correct. The average lifespan of kratom is anywhere from it goes from 4 to 6 hours. Some are like the one you were just talking about, for instance, is probably a 3 to 4 hour one.
Yeah.
You know, for the majority of people, take it up to 3 times a day, daily. Now, as far as the misconceptions about kratom and the withdrawing, I myself went and took that to the test. I did kratom. I was on kratom every day for a month, 3 times a day. Okay, and then one day I said, okay, we're going without now, just to see, because I wanted to know, is this something that is, you know, that I can pass on to people? You know, I need to know these things first.
Right.
So, first day, woke up, nothing. The only thing was I felt tired. You know, not the energy. You know, second day, same thing. I experienced no withdrawal whatsoever from the kratom.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I was to stay on those medications that I got from the doctor, I would have most definitely had some sort of withdrawal from that. The only withdrawal you'll ever get from kratom that I've noticed and experienced myself personally is just like coffee. You know, it's just like coffee or any chocolate. You know, you drink, if you're an average coffee drinker, stop drinking coffee, you're going to get a headache from it, you know. Anything you take in moderation, you will have some sort of side effect of that.
Right.
But it's nothing.
I'm very familiar with the caffeine
The
headache.
caffeine, yeah.
And I keep going back on caffeine. It's like, why am I doing this?
And going back now that we're talking about the caffeine, the kratom plant comes from the same plant that the coffee plant originated from. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. It's the same plant family
Yeah.
as the coffee plant.
That's,
So they have a lot in common.
yeah, but that kratom doesn't have caffeine.
No, there's
No.
not the caffeine. There's
Right.
no jitteriness. When it gives you the energy, it's pure natural energy.
Uh-huh.
No, it's a calm energy.
Right.
You know.
And the most important thing about understanding plants, it doesn't make the body do anything, it supports the body.
Correct.
That's the difference between a drug and an herb. The herbs support the body, allow the body to heal itself.
Right. And like I referred earlier to, and your body knows what it wants and what it doesn't want. And when it's had enough, it'll let you know. And that's what it does with kratom. It has that ability to, if you had too much or it just your body don't want it, it'll let you know and it'll take it right out.
Right.
And it's not a bad vomiting.
No.
It's a quick, you know, you get it out, you'll feel sick, you'll be able to make it to the bathroom, and you get it out and it's over. And that's it. You know, they get something to eat. And
Now, some people do experience a little nausea, and it's usually they've taken it by itself with an empty stomach.
Yep.
It's nice to do that to help to get into the system, but if you have a sensitive stomach,
Eat some toast.
Yeah, eat some toast or a piece of bread.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm not one to sugarcoat anything. You're at one point in your life and trying kratom, you're going to experience the nausea part of it. You know, it just happens. But like I said, all you mainly do is you got to eat some. It's because of your body, what's
Right.
in your body that day. You know, it's all depends. You know, you might drink a lot of orange juice that day and didn't realize it, or you know, didn't eat nothing that day. You know.
I ran into a person I was talked to about Kratom, and they said they wouldn't even touch it because it gives you hallucinations.
Oh boy.
And I asked him, I said, where did you hear that? I said, I've never seen any studies or anything to correlate. Well, that's what, my neighbor said. It
And that goes with the false media and the big pharma, you know, behind a lot of that as well.
Right.
You know, trying to scare people from that. Kratom has no hallucinogenic properties at all.
Right.
You do not get a buzz from Kratom. So if anybody's looking for Kratom to get a high off of,
Yeah.
you're looking in the wrong place. You will not experience any high from Kratom at all.
No, it'll just help your
The
system.
only high you experience from Kratom is a high of life
Right.
that every
You feel
human
good.
being should have.
Yeah.
And should have the ability
Right.
to enjoy. That not everybody has in their systems.
Yeah. I know that you hear, especially we live in a very small town, so there's always some sort of something going around, rumors.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so you hear all kinds of things, and sometimes I just chuckle and
And it's bad. And you know, social media make Kratom good, but also it makes it bad too in that aspect. Once one thing said bad about it, it goes viral.
right.
And the main thing we have with Kratom right now we're dealing with is there's been deaths with Kratom in the bodies of people. But what they're not telling us is that the other stuff that was in their body, the opioid,
Toxicology.
yes,
Yes.
what's in their systems. You know, Kratom is like anything else. You can't be taking Kratom with painkillers
Right.
and stuff like that because why would you in the first
Yeah,
place?
it's doing the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you're taking opiates and taking Kratom, what do you expect to happen? You know, you can't go ahead and blame it on the Kratom now.
Right.
But that's what the FDA is doing and Big Pharma is doing. They're leaving out all the other information.
Right. And right now, as we're speaking, is basically FDA is looking at Kratom to decide what.
Yes, and it actually they've already banned it in 5 different states already. And to me, there is no reason for it. It is completely disgusting, you know, to me. And to think that they would do this to people
Right.
and make them go on pharmaceuticals and be an addict. Because that's what they're going to be, is an addict.
Right. To be consider this as a Schedule 1 drug, like a heroin.
Right.
First of all, should not have any medicinal purposes, which this does. It's addictive. This is not addictive.
Not one bit.
When I've looked at the Schedule 1 drugs and why it was put in there, the laws that they put in place to consider things as Schedule 1, this has nothing to do with anything of those particular laws.
Not one bit. Not
It's-
one bit. It's just like your gingers, your anything else that's out there.
Garlic, ginger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love ginger for inflammation.
Yeah, and
You know,
this does
this-
help with inflammation
Yep.
as well too. But that's the big thing now. So people are finding out about Kratom, you know, because of social media. That's one of the benefits, and Big Pharma is getting a hold of that. So I've heard plenty of testimonies of people that have completely went off all their medication and went straight to Kratom. Well, Big Pharma is losing a lot of money.
Yes.
You know, Uncle Sam, the government, they don't like that. So they're trying to get the false, stuff out there. They're trying to make it illegal, and like you said, make it a Scheduled 1
Right.
drug, which it's not right. I feel it's unconstitutional.
Right.
You know, how dare anybody make you take a made man substance? You know, something that kills people every second of every day.
Yeah, this is something God gave us.
And this is exactly. It
Yeah.
was, it states in the Bible itself that God gave us things to heal ourselves with. And this is one of them, by far.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there,
Yes.
but this is a very very important plant in my eyes, and also my friends' eyes and people that I know around me that needs this help.
Correct. And it kind of goes like with marijuana, per se. You know, years ago in the 80s, marijuana was the worst thing ever. You know, it was the devil, per se. And here we are in 2017, and it's turned around. It's being used for medical purposes, you know.
Right.
It's helping young children with seizures, and
Yes.
just it will bring tears to your eyes if you really see what it does to people, you know.
I saw a lot of interviews when I was studying cannabis, and the children is what really break my heart.
Me too. Me
Seeing
too.
that, and then where people have to move to the states that
Yes.
it's legal.
Yeah.
You know, Pennsylvania, it's become legal, but you know we're still waiting for all the red tape to go through, and
And how many children have died and suffered
right.
many years because they refused a plant? You know, how dare somebody do that, in a sense? You know,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
We're hurting
you know.
our own children.
Yes. Yep. And that is the main problem with this world today, is addiction.
Right.
You know, and to not allow that to, you
Yeah.
know, let's give a 5-year-old morphine. Come on, you know. That's just not right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll end this session on Kratom, and we'll do another one.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us, and I'm glad you guys were here, and hope to see you again, or have you listen to me again, or us. Have a nice night.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks.